It's time now for a look latest in local sports and sports. The varsity basketball teams in action this afternoon in Savannah. They'll be at BC High School as as their boys varsity begins region play today. Girls in a non-region game taking on St. Vincent's High School. The JV action gets underway this afternoon around 4 p.m. Varsity action should begin around 5:30 p.m. Both teams in action Saturday at Pierce County. Varsity girls game on Saturday will begin at 5. Varsity boys game at 6:30. First home game of the 2025 season is set for January 10th when the Jaguars host New Hampstead. Georgia High School Daily has released this past season's all-region football teams and players of the year. New Hampstead's quarterback Rashawn Trull was player of the year in our region. Wayne County placed 2 players on the first-team all-region team, defensive end Dawson Sykes and running back Victor Lovett. On the second-team all-region, linebacker Austin Conard and offensive lineman Jamichael Pittman. Several honorable mentions: defensive back Jarvis Fulmore, linebacker Wyatt Hickox, running back Octavius Leggett, wide receiver Hattie Peel, running back Tyrese Shellman, wide receiver Gagadian Frazier, and defensive back Jamarian Brown. Coach of the year was Perry High School's Kevin Smith. Scholar Athlete of the year was Ware County's William Bates. Once again, these selections from Georgia High School Football Daily. Notre Dame defeats Georgia in the Sugar Bowl yesterday afternoon. Final score 23-10. 6-3 game late in the first half turned into a 13-3 lead as Georgia's quarterback Gunnar Stockton was sacked and fumbled. Irish connect on a touchdown pass right before halftime. Then Jaden Harrison runs the second half kickoff back 98 yards to give the Irish a 23 lead. Irish go on to defeat Georgia and advance to the Orange Bowl. They'll play Penn State in Miami on Thursday, January the 9th. Other semifinal game is set for Friday, January 10th, Texas and Ohio State. National title game is set for Atlanta on Monday, January 20th. Again, 16 teams began. Now it's down to the Final Four in Texas against Ohio State, Notre Dame against Penn State. Georgia hits the offseason. Carson Beck hits the NFL. Gunnar Stockton performed well, 20 of 32 for 234 yards and a touchdown. Georgia running game shut down by Notre Dame. Dogs had just 62 yards on the ground. Again, Georgia finished 15th out of 16 teams in the SEC in rushing this year. Once again, the final score Thursday, Notre Dame 23, Georgia 10. Falcons in action Sunday at 1 p.m. Final regular season ball game. The Falcons need help. They need to beat Carolina and hope Tampa Bay loses at home to the New Orleans Saints. And Falcons need a win and a Tampa Bay loss in order to win the division and clinch a playoff spot. Tampa controls its own destiny. They win Sunday. They're the division champions and in the playoffs. And the Falcons need a win and need the Saints to knock off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jacksonville closes out its season on the road to play the Colts. Both teams not in the playoff picture. That game set for 1 p.m. on Sunday. Jaguars at 4-12, waiting to see what happens next week as the head coach Doug Peterson on the hot seat, expected to be fired at the end of the season, as will several coaches in the NFL, known as Black Monday. Prediction is 5 or more head coaches in the NFL will be given their walking papers on Monday. Wildcard weekends next weekend, only one spot both in the AFC and NFC. In the NFC, it's either Tampa or Atlanta. In the AFC, 3 teams still hoping for that final spot: Denver, Miami, or Cincinnati. That's going to do it for latest in local sports.